it's JC. Welcome to Urban Knife Guy, where we explore the urban lifestyle and jungle survival. As you can see, we are in the jungle, and I'm actually looking for a new spot for my bushcraft camp because I moved recently, so I'm in another part of the jungle. I'm still on highland. As you can see, we're actually on a slope, but the vegetation here is much less dense. This looks more like a forest to me than really a dense tropical jungle, which is a good thing. Less bugs, but however, I would say that there are also less resources. I do not have so much bamboo over here, but I still have some resources. Finding fallen branches and trees is harder, of course. As you can see, they're still around, but less in a dense jungle. Anyway, my goal is to look for a new spot for my bushcraft camp, or I should say station, and I've actually spent 2 days just hiking all around looking for a good spot. And I believe I found a spot yesterday. I did clear it out a bit, and I think this is going to be a great spot to actually set up camp, simply because it is on a bit of a plateau here, even though we're on a slope, and there's a nice clearing, and I've got this great fallen tree over here, really big log, and this automatically looks like some kind of a table that I could use to work. So I'm going to put some things together and I will show you my journey in building this bushcraft station. One of the first things to set up at a camp is definitely a holder to hold your pack, and that's the first thing I always do. So I have some paracord which is pre-looped, and I'll show you how to do that in just a bit. And then I tie it to a tree, and within a minute I can put up my pack. I generally also sling up my big knife, in this case the parang, when I'm at a base camp, but my belt is always on me, where I have my basic kit and my knife. Let's have a closer look at what we have over here. So basically there are two loops. These are two marling spikes, and that's where this piece of branch goes into. And then I simply wrap it around the tree once, and then I tie a knot underneath where the branch would be. So this is how I do it, and I find it's really secure and I can get it up very quickly. Here's a closer look at that double marling spike. So it's basically an overhand knot where you just pull the loop through. As simple as that. Overhand knot, pull the loop through. Very basic knot, but you're doing two in a row just like that. And then you thread the branch through, and then you can just pull that so it tightens. And then you wrap the paracord around the tree, as I mentioned, tied off in front underneath where that branch would be. So the next thing I've done is to cut out a section of log to use as my table. I did a previous video where I showed me starting on this with my silky big boy. You can check out that video in the link in the card above or the description below. But after I made two cuts, it was wedged in. I had to chop a bit with my machete. Then I took a longer branch, which you see right there, and I used it to lever up that log. And then I brought that log over here. And this will serve as my seat if I want to use that as a table, but it can also work as my working stump when I'm doing some bushcrafty things. So since this might be a table at times, I will need some kind of stool, so let's do that next. If you build a campsite, you definitely need somewhere to sit. If you can't find a log or want to sit on your sitting pad near the ground all the time, you need to build yourself a stool, and that's what I'm going to try to do. I cut 3 lengths of wood from a tree that had fallen. Very lucky to find that, because the previous standing dead wood that I found was filled with termites, so that had to be discarded after I cut it. So after you cut 3 sections, you need some paracord, and what I have over here is this canvas seat cover. As you can see, the 3 sections is a triangle. The whole idea is to build a tripod base for the seat cover. So let's see how that goes. So what I've done is used a standard tripod lash to hold all these 3 pieces of wood together. So I tied them off just above center. Note, this will be the base and this will be the seat of the stool. So basically for a tripod lash, I started with a clove hitch and then did a lashing around all 3 pieces of wood, and then did 2 sets of frapping. So I did 3 fraps each. And I came back over here, tied it off with a clove hitch, wrapped the excess, and then ended with another clove hitch. So basically that's the lash, and it's a standard tripod lash. But one thing to note is you do not want this super tight. In fact, you want it on the looser side. Not so loose that the 3 pieces of wood would just slip out, but you do not want it tight. If not, you will not be able to form the tripod. So let's see if we can now assemble the stool. So the first thing we want to do is to form that tripod, to form that comfortable seat. So that's the triangle, and then this is the seat cover. Basically it's a piece of fabric, double stitch, folded over to form these pockets. So it's a triangle, and those pockets just fit over the wood just like that. And then you want to open this up, stretch it out, and then eventually when you put your weight on it, everything will lock into place. So here we have that camp stool with the tripod legs. Does it look good? Probably not. Is it very comfortable? Not particularly, but it definitely works and it beats sitting on the ground. The next thing I want to make is a mallet. Now of course I could just use this piece of log to knock things in, but since this is my bushcraft camp, I want to make a tool which I'll be comfortable and happy to use and just feels a bit more like home. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make 4 cuts with that silky pocket boy, and then I'll use the machete or parang to batten and cut off the sides to form the handle. So I finished the mallet, I did my saw cuts, and then I battened it to form the handle, shaped it with the parang, and then I scraped off all the splinters with the back of the silky saw. So that's really convenient, and it's I would say pretty good. Definitely no splinters to cut me. And then I used the awl from the Swiss Army knife to drill a hole so I could put the paracord through. And this is actually very important because when I'm not at the bushcraft camp, I'll hang this up from a tree. If not, if you just lean it on the ground, when I come back, even if it's just 4 days, you'd find that it's full of termites and it's going to start to rot. And that's just how efficient the tropical jungle is. So this is to hang it up. So I've completed the first part of my bushcraft camp. I've got my backpack holder on the tree. I've got my working stump with mallet, my stool, got this nice long shelf as well as a working surface in the form of this fallen tree. And the great thing is this section which I've cut out has become a cutting spot as well. So very convenient. And I do have one more cutting spot which is over here. And that's when I want to kneel down, I want to keep it lower. So I've got one spot over here. So I think I've got good ground to work with. I've put my mosquito coil on my organic mosquito coil holder. So that's just for comfort. And I've got enough space. If I ever want to build a shelter around here, I definitely could do so. But overall, I'm pretty happy with this first phase of my bushcraft camp. Let me know your thoughts, and if you've got any ideas for me. I still have some things I do want to build. I'll keep that a secret for now, but I'd love to hear your suggestions and experiences in the comments below. If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up, and if you like the content in general, please subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell. Thanks for watching. Talk to you soon.